Okay, so once we're on our computers and once we're on our Google Classroom, what I'd like you to do is open up Inventor. Okay, now there's two different versions of this program called Inventor on your desktop. So you need to make sure you're selecting Inventor 2023. It's going to be the solid yellow box. Okay, if you're confused with what that looks like, look up at my screen right now. Okay, it is a yellow box with an I in it. That's what I need you guys opening up. Once you open that up, hopefully, ideally, if your computer is set up properly, you are already signed in. If not, I just signed out of my account here. I can show you guys what it looks like to sign in after I move this over. There we go. Okay. So right here, your screen should look similar to this. If you're signed in and you get here, that's awesome. I currently need to sign in, so I'm going to the top right of my screen, sign into Autodesk account, and it keeps popping up on my other screen. There we go. Okay. So right here, I have an account already, so I'm able to sign in. If you do not, just click on Create Account, and you'll be all good. Okay. But you'll use your school email for that. This program usually costs $3,000 or $4,000 a year, okay, for a private license. You guys, because your students get it for free, so use your school account. They'll ask you some questions about verifying that you are a student, and then you'll get your account. So what I need to see everyone do, if my thing will work, there we go, is make sure you're signed in into Inventor 2023. It's going to ask you about privacy settings. Click OK. Okay. So what is CAD? CAD stands for two different things. Both are true. Computer-aided drafting and computer-aided design. Okay, we're using this to model items to be produced. All those technical drawings that we made before by hand, this thing does pretty automatically. Okay, it makes it so much easier, makes it so much more detailed. This is a good thing for us. Okay, we're working in a 3D workspace. So at this point, make sure you guys are filling out your notes. There will be a quiz over this information. Okay, next slide here. So rough process, what are we going to do inside of Inventor? Okay, relating it to things that we've already done, we're going to create a rough 2D sketch. Okay, we know how to do sketches by hand. We're going to apply dimensions and constraints. That's the second thing. Okay, we know about dimensions. We know that dimensions are measurements. We're also going to learn about constraints and what constraints are. And then we're going to do something called extruding to make our 2D sketch a three-dimensional model. So in the most basic sense, we're creating a shape, we're constraining it, and then we're pulling it a third direction to make it 3D. Okay, after you guys get those notes, we can start looking at Inventor. Now that we kind of know what CAD is, okay, we at least have a definition for it, we can start looking at the program. So, your guys' screen should look similar to this. I have a bunch of projects already opened. You guys don't need to do this. To get started, and we can look in our book would give us all these directions too. If I go over here, and I scroll down, you guys can read all of this. I'm summarizing the information in a way that I think is good enough, you know. I just download that. Make it a little easier on myself. Here we go. Okay. So if you guys scroll through here, you're going to see it starts giving you directions. I'm summarizing these, the important information in your notes. This is the first 3D model we're going to make. Okay. If we were to do something like this hand drafting, it'd be pretty complicated. With Inventor, it's pretty easy. So what we need to start off doing is the book's going to tell you to change some settings. Man, we don't need to change those settings. It's fine. So go to Inventor, New, and then when it asks me what kind of project I'm doing, this is important. I need you looking at my screen. Standard inches. And we're going to create that model. I'm going to pause here. I want to see that everyone's got their screen open to this big blue abyss that's about to load. Okay. New, and then standard inches. So right now what we're looking at is our 3D workspace. Okay. It's hard to tell because it's all just blue. We haven't actually made anything yet. This is where we do what we do. Okay. Couple things to note, and you guys will have notes to write about this in a second, I think. I need to check my presentation. Similar to any Word doc or Google document that you go into, you're going to have your ribbon, and you're going to have tabs that give you all your commands. Let me just look at what I'm pointing out in my notes. Okay. So some important tabs that we're looking at, or important things. We're going to start looking at our 3D model tab. Okay, these are all the tools used to transform sketches into 3D elements. Okay. This pops up first by default when we open up Inventor. And you guys filling out these notes now? Okay, and then the other tab that we're going to use a lot is the Sketch tab. These are our tools to make our 2D sketches. So similar to how you sketch on a piece of paper, you can sketch in Inventor. It's a lot more precise. Also, another thing we're going to notice on our screen is a feature tree that appears on the left side. What we need the feature tree for, and I'll point this out when I get back into Inventor, what we need our feature tree for is to track all design features. So everything I make doesn't just exist. Okay, there is a kind of like a family tree. There is a history of everything that's been made in order, and you can go back and you can modify things as you go from your feature tree. After I see that all these notes have been updated, I'll go back in. So, no, you should enroll in two-step verification. You can leave your phone for that. Recording. Three basic things we're looking at here. Okay, 3D model tab. This is right here by default. When we open Inventor, we are in the 3D model tab. These are all my tools to modify 3D shapes. Okay, in general, here where it says create is where we're going to stay. Create and sometimes modify. We're not going to go into any of these other ones quite yet. If we go to our sketch tab, we see all of our sketch tools. Okay, so we see that we can start a sketch, and we see the different tools we have to start a sketch. Line, circle, arc, rectangle, and then there's a bunch of other tools that are kind of similar that we can use. Okay, so this is how we make 2D sketches. 3D model tab is how we turn 2D sketches into 3D models. Okay. Last thing that I pointed out over here is the feature tree. Right now it's pretty empty, but you guys will see when we start our first sketch that it'll start filling up. And that's actually the next thing we're going to do. Let me just double check in the book what they want us to do. Then I'll demonstrate it, and then you guys will do the same thing. Over here. So they want us to make our model, which we did. It's pointing out a bunch of things, which we did. Okay. It's going to start introducing these things called planes. I'm going to show you guys what a plane is. I think it's easier to understand after you've seen it. It's going to tell us to start a sketch on our XY plane, and we're creating a rough sketch that looks like this shape. So in Inventor, I'm going to open up Start 2D Sketch. I want to select my XY plane. I'm going to select my line tool, and I'm going to make an L shape. Now what's important, make sure we're going straight up and down. Okay, makes things a lot easier. If not, I can show you how to fix it, but it just speeds up the process. So on your guys' computers, what I need you to do is start a 2D sketch on the XY plane and use the line tool to make this L shape that I have here. Okay, what I'd like you guys to do is pull your notes back out, and we're going to update a couple more just definitions of what we're doing. Okay, so we know what tabs we have, we know what we're looking at. Let's talk about planes, okay? So that sketch that we just started a drawing on was a plane, or that surface we just started a drawing on was a plane. Okay, this is a representation of a flat surface to draw a sketch on. You guys need to have your pencils out, fill in this in your notes. Go on to the next slide of your notes. Okay. One thing we also just did was make a rough sketch. Okay, what is a rough sketch? It is a sketch of a shape of an object. It does not include dimensions or constraints. Okay, so Inventor knows that a shape exists, but it doesn't know where it's supposed to be. It doesn't know the size. We haven't told it those things yet. Okay, it is not fully constrained. Miguel, would you like to let Miguel in, please? Oh. Okay. Moving forward here. We have our rough sketch on our XY plane. What we need to begin doing is telling Inventor where it is and how big it is. To start that, we're going to start with our Dimensions tool. Okay, so in our Sketch tab, we see a Dimensions tool. I'm going to select it, and it is important to look at the right spot. Okay. I do not want to select, if I'm dimensioning this top line, I do not want to select the center point. What I do want to select is the whole line. So I go dimension, whole line, and I place the dimension. Now there's two ways we can go about this. I can either type in what I want it to be right now, and I zoom out, or I can select the line, place the dimension, and then with my dimension tool selected, re-click my dimension to change it. I think it is easier, I think it is better to just do it right away when you place the dimension, but it's up to you. Okay, we've got 4 dimensions we're adding. Okay, 2 of our sides need to be 0.75 inches, 2 of our sides need to be 2.5 inches. Okay, we're not dimensioning the inside lines, just our short ends and just our long ends. Okay, I need you guys to do this on your screens too. Once you get this done, you can pause. Okay. I know some of us are still working. I'm going to show the last thing we're doing today. Or no, last of 2 things. This is the last modeling we're going to do, and then I'm going to show you guys how I want you to save these. So we have a fully defined 2D sketch. What does fully defined mean? We'll look here. Okay. Fully defined means that all of our dimensions and constraints, I'm sorry, it's not fully defined yet. There's one more thing we need to do. But our dimension constraints are used to define geometric relationships and measurements of sketch elements. So we're controlling the size and position of the geometry that we create. And then what we're about to do is we're about to extrude it. Okay, we're about to pull a 2D sketch in the 3rd direction to make it 3D. So in your notes, you guys need to be updating this. And then I'm going to show us how to finish constraining. I'm going to show us how to extrude. And I'm going to show us how I want you guys to save these. To finish fully constraining our sketch, Inventor knows the size of my shape. I need to now tell it the location. And to do that, I'm going to pin it to my origin point here. So I'm going to take this constraint. Okay, it's called coincident. What it does is it makes 2 things sit on top of each other. I'm going to take my coincident constraint, select my origin, coincident constraint, origin, bottom left corner. You see how all my lines turn black? I can check down here, fully constrained. That's what I'm looking for. Once you get that, what I need from you guys, 3D Model tab, extrude, and it automatically selects our shape. And I'm going to tell it that I want my distance A to be 2.5. I'm taking my sketch, I'm extruding it 2.5 inches, pulling it in that 3rd direction to make a 3D sketch. I click OK. I've now got my first 3-dimensional object inside of Inventor. Okay, I need you guys to get caught up there. After you get caught up there, I'll show you guys how we're saving things. Okay, what I'm about to show next is pretty important, and I need all of you guys to watch as we're doing this. I want you to open up your File Explorer. Guys, I need all eyes on my screen. Okay. Open up your File Explorer. If it would pop up, there it is. Whoa. Okay. I need you to go to your Documents, and we're going to make a new folder. Okay, we're going to call this we're going to call this Inventor Files. Okay. Any file you make for Inventor is going to go in there. I'm going to go back to my model after I have my submission or after I have my extrusion. File, save as. I'm going to go find, where are my documents at? Find my documents, Inventor files. I'm going to name this Chapter 2, Guided Practice, Save. Okay, I need you guys to open up File Explorer, in Documents, make a new folder, save this document into that file. New? Nope. Go back to Documents. New. Folder. There you go. Call that Inventor Files. Save as, yep. Where's my laser? My laser's dying, huh? There it is. Okay. Finish sketch. Go to your files, documents, new, folder, call that Inventor Files, and save your model up there. Come up here and click the little home. There you go. Yep, and now go to Inventor, File, Save As, Inventor Files. Call it Chapter 2, Guided Practice. Files, Documents, New, Folder, Inventor Files. Yep. Right here. Documents, New, Folder, Inventor Files. That's everything. So you have it saved. Okay. Guys, when you're done saving, I need you to look at your engineering and design sign-on SOP. There is a computer sign-out procedure. Okay, read through that. We're not shutting down our computers. We're closing out of all of our programs and signing off. Go to Files. Documents, New, Inventor File, Folder, Inventor Files. Right, nope, not that one. Yep. Double click it. Inventor Files. I need to see everyone signed off of their computers before we're going. Okay, so once you have that saved, sign off. Okay, now go to Inventor. File, Save As, Inventor Files. Double click it. Chapter 2, Guided Practice. Right there. Okay, guys, to sign out of your computers, it's going to look a little different for you because you're on Windows 11. Actually, I'm going to record this. Okay, so to sign out, Windows button, name, sign out. It's going to ask if you want to close out of all your programs. You're going to say yes. We're not logging off every day. Okay, we're signing out. Every Friday is when we're going to log out. Have a good day, guys.